Welcome back to another episode of Be Bold, Smart is Truth. Today I'm going to talk about self-esteem and insecurities and the reasons for those low self-esteem issues, as well as how to cope. I too suffer with self-esteem issues, as a lot of us do, all for different reasons. There's a lot of reasons as to why we are the way that we are, and also a lot of things that trigger those insecurities and those self-esteem issues. A lot of it has to play with our upbringing, which a lot of people don't look back or think about that, but it really does play a very big factor in how we feel about ourselves and how we treat others and how we allow others to treat us, in what we allow into our lives, as far as, like they say, the saying, people will only treat you how you allow them to treat you. So without realizing it, a lot of us allow those treatments that are not acceptable, that should never be accepted, that should never be, allowed. But because of our worth and how we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves within ourselves, or how we have, normalized ourselves to feel is right, our definition of right is not what is right. It's just what we know. It's just what we're used to, and that is all that we know. So that is why we allow these things that we should never allow, such as opening doors to certain situations that we should never open the door to. But we don't realize it because, like I stated, that is our norm. That is what we know. That is what we're used to. So, like, for example, my upbringing was with an alcoholic father and a mother that was never really there. But to me, that was what was normal. That is what I knew from a small child until a grown adult. This is the way that my father is. This is the way that my mother is. This is the way that love is. This is the way that I should be. Because this is what I was taught to believe, to know. It's no different than being taught things that have to do with religion. That is all you know. That is what you've known since you were a child. That is your comfort zone. That is what you were told by whoever brought you up, your mother, your father, your grandma, your sibling, whoever. So that is why we grow up to be these grown individuals with self-esteem issues, insecurities, abandonment issues, all because of how we were brought up, all because of what we were taught. So I learned from a young age that what my father was doing was not right. But that was my lifestyle. That was what was all I knew. That was my upbringing up until now. Up until the last year, that was all I ever saw. My father always drinking. My father, being, depressed and having insecurity and low self-esteem issues and dealing with, situations the cowardly way instead of, being a man and dealing with it head on and doing things the correct way. This was the only way that he would do things. And therefore, that is how I was brought up. That is, why I'm such a sensitive person. And I realize that now as a grown adult, that my sensitivity to everything is due to the way that my father was. And, that's something that I have tried to break, but yet, unfortunately, that is who I am. That is who made me the way that I am. And, there's a lot of things that are hard to break. Like my mother, she played the factor of a mother, but it was part-time. And, when she was there, and she was the discipliner versus my father was never a discipliner. And then my mother, she, was always trying to figure herself out and always in and out of different relationships and had different, 2 different marriages. And, that's just what was shown to us. And with not having her as much as I should have had her, or with her playing the friend role instead of a mother role. That all played a factor in my, adulthood, who I became, because I seen all of that. Now, I could have, became an alcoholic. I could have, became all about myself and, wanting to be with multiple partners and choosing to, repeat the same cycles as my parents did, but instead I chose to go different routes. I chose to invest my time fully in being a mother. And when I became a mother for the first time at the age of 23, and I decided to dedicate my whole entire upbringing to being a better person, being a lot better than who my parents were. And I have motivated myself, and I have pushed myself to, even over my limits, because I don't want to look back and I don't want to have any regrets. So I want to be able to say, I did all of this, and no matter what anybody ever says about me, I never left my kids. I was always there. I, didn't have multiple partners. I didn't have multiple fathers for my kids. I did everything the way that I felt was right in my heart and in my mind. And I also have learned to, start working on my self-worth and know all the things that I bring to the table as a person, as a mother, as a sister, as a, all of those things. And I have learned to be more about myself and doing things that I feel make me happy. And that is what has helped me cope with my insecurities and my low self-esteem. And I just continue to work at that. And when I fail, I just pick myself back up and I continue moving, because at the end of the day, I can't just sit there and I cannot drown forever. Eventually, I gotta come up to the surface. And while I have learned that when I need my timeouts, I take my timeouts, because I need that time to regenerate. I need that time to, get my thoughts together. And, I need some time sometimes to just figure out, hey, it's okay, you didn't have a good day today, but tomorrow will be a better day. Or try again, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you feel, is causing you to have a bad day, figure out how to work around it. Find things that you love to do. Try to find yourself again, your child self again. Like, read a book, or, go for a walk in nature, which is always awesome, because you get to spend time with, the outside. There's nothing negative there. There's nothing there that'll cause you to feel any type of way outside of positive. And also focusing on, being around people that are positive. Because if you hang around a lot of people that are negative, then, you're going to feel negative. You only want to be around people who are on the same page as you, that are going to motivate you, that are going to, help you progress, that are going to help you feel good about yourself, that are going to help you feel, beautiful, secure, and all of those things that you lack, that you need, that are feeding your soul. Because when you feed your soul a bunch of negative things and you're around negative people and negative vibes, you're going to feel negative. You're not going to feel positive. And so you need to find people to be around that are positive. Sorry, I know you see me shaking my leg's falling asleep, so I'm trying to wake it up. Anyway, so yeah, those are all things that, help me, that have helped me. A lot of people lack, figuring that out. And sometimes, they just need a small push. They just need someone to be like, hey, you really need to realize your worth. Realize that you can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to go out there and do what you need to do to get it. The other thing that I like to do is I love to challenge myself. So I always challenge myself with different things. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's, setting goals for myself and making sure I meet those goals by the deadline. Those types of things. That really keeps me going. That really, gets me moving. Having my favorite coffee in the morning, that really motivates me, gets me going. Being able to motivate others, that really, makes me feel good. Even if I just touch one person, or even if I just motivate one person, to me, that's, good enough for me. I'm already doing something productive. I'm already, helping in some way. It may not be much, but to me, it's a big stepping stone for me. The other thing is being able to forgive those that have done wrong to you, fully forgiving them so that you can fully be at peace within yourself and your heart and your mind, to be able to move forward with your life and be able to openly love and accept others with no insecurities that what the other person did to you will be repeated by this new person, because they are not at fault of nothing, and you cannot make them pay for something that another person did, which is easier said than done, but it's something that you need to learn to work within yourself. That's not something that anybody can help you work out. That's something you need to work out within yourself. Like me, I do have a lot of insecurity issues due to past relationships and pain and hurt. But I've learned now that I have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Doesn't matter whether they hurt me in the end or not. I have to be able to give them the option, the opportunity to hurt me. And if they end up hurting me, ultimately, then that was what was meant to happen. And I have no control over that. So you have to learn to let go of things that you have no control over. And only control the things that you can. Because you will drive yourself crazy trying to control the inevitable and something that you have no clue that is going to happen. And then not only that, but you are hindering yourself of happiness and being loved, because you are not allowing anybody in. You're not allowing anybody to, really love you. You're not trusting anybody. You're keeping this guard up. You need to let your guard down. As vulnerable as that may make you, if you really want to be happy, you have to trust the person wholeheartedly, no matter if in the end they hurt you, in order to really find that person that you will finally eventually know it was worth it. It was worth being vulnerable. It was worth opening up. It was worth putting your guards down. And it was worth trusting wholeheartedly for you to be your own person, for them to be their own person, because you have to understand that you are not in control of anyone. You are only in control of yourself. So once you figure that out, the better off and happier you will be. Picking better people for yourself versus people that you know are same as what you're used to. Sometimes you have to pick outside the box, something completely opposite of what you're used to. That is key to happiness, key to positivity, and most importantly, figuring out your own worth and continuing to find time for yourself, for your inner peace, for your soul, to say, hey, you know what? Today's going to be for me. Today's going to be a day for me to pamper myself, to make myself feel good, for me to be happy within myself. Because the happier you are within yourself, the happier you will be despite any situation you find yourself in, good or bad. You will figure out more positive and better ways to cope and deal with those situations versus feeling inadequate, feeling depressed, feeling as if nothing's ever gonna, go your way. Sometimes it's storms. That's life. You can't always have sunshine, right? So just always remember that there is always a rainbow at the end of that storm, and that once that rainbow comes, everything will be okay. Always remember that everything will be okay. So always remember self-time, self-love, self-worth. That is number one to self-healing. That is number one to self-love. Once you start to do more for yourself, start to feel happy within yourself, start to take care of yourself, everything else will line up. Everything else will come into place. Stop worrying. Things come to those who wait. Remember that. So with that being said, this about sums up my video. I hope you guys like this video. Until next time, choose for yours. Be bold. Bye.